Hello and welcome to a rare daytime daylight filming of my videos. As you can see, I've got two Red Arrows Hawk jets on the table, one of which is new, one of which is quite old, and that's the old one. So we put that aside. I just thought I'd put them as a comparison. So totally different painting. This one's slightly faded looking with my eyesight. Don't know if you can see side by side there with the difference in colour, but that's more of a brick red than the new one. But this week, it only took about a week, I built the Airfix Hawk T1 from the 50th display season special edition box in. There we are, 50th, with the special tail, which is as near to Jubilee bunting as we get today. It's a good kit. I like the Airfix Hawk of this period. Sadly, the starter kits are now lacking a few parts and they're much simplified, but the actual Hawk kit that Airfix do is a good one. Of course, with the Red Arrows, you've got much more complicated decals. You've got this long one here, which I always cut in about there, so they got a more manageable decal to use. Lots of little tiny dot decals, some of which I've left off anyway. The only main problem I have with this kit is that you're expected to put the nose wheel in at first when you put the fuselage together. Trouble is then you've got a nose wheel sticking out, and because I dropped it, yes, clumsy me, dropped the kit again, I snapped that off, so that's only held on by glue now, so I'm going to be very careful not to touch that too often. Nice seats. Probably issues with it, I suppose. Somebody, rivet counters as they call them, might say there's a problem, but I like this kit, as I've already said. One of the things I was always delighted with about it is that there's a groove on the inside which you can paint to make the detonation code for the ejector seats. You see that? I put a little bit of grey paint over the grooves, then wiped off the inside and left that paint in the grooves, so you've got nicely painted detonation code areas. So that's always a good thing. Of course, paint the holes where there's no holes, but representing where the holes would be. This kit's at least 30 years old tooling, I think 20-30 years old at the moment, at least, but you do get internal detail on the wheel wells, and you know, it's quite good. The way they've got you put the tyres on afterwards means you can paint the wheels well. And always put the decal on first, the arrow decal on first, before you put the what do we call them, flap actuator housings. Probably the best way to call it, because that's probably what they are called. You got the belly tank for the smoke. This version doesn't have any decals for the tank, so on the other older one, you've got blue lines on the tank, but maybe by 2014, which is when they had the special 50th season celebration, Red Arrows, which is what this tail is for, perhaps they stopped putting the decals on there, I don't know. You got a choice of about 11 or 12 different registrations numbers, so you can choose which aircraft specifically you want to model. The tail pipe is so well fitted that I haven't glued that in. I've actually just pushed it in, and oh, there we are. It comes out, but it's quite a snug fit. Okay, I'm not going to focus there. Snug fit, and I'm not going to bother gluing that. It's no problem. Just leave it as it is. A little bit of weight plasticine in the underneath the cockpit area, because the front nose part is open, so there's no way to put the plasticine otherwise. But it doesn't take much to hold it on the ground. I gently put that there. What else? Well, this decal is quite large and it's always tricky to get it around the edge, isn't it? Those who know. So I've back painted that white as well, so try and get a bit of a, make sure the white shows up as white. Put the decal on and put a bit of, there's always a risk of it peeling around the edge. I got to be careful not to use some decal soft to try and wrap it around the edge, but it's always tricky, so knowing when to stop is part of modelling. Got to know when to stop, and that's what I've stopped, and I'm quite happy. It's my second Red Arrows at the time. So I've got 2 Red Arrows, and I've got the Black Hawk from the Hawk Display team, well, Hawk Display solo that they had back in about the same time. And there you go, my 3 Hawks. And there we are, ta-da, that's all.